Coming up today on The Real Country File, Stephen is looking at someone that's got a novel way of using vending machines on the side of the road to sell eggs and other things. And Angela is back in Shropshire at the Bradford Estate, looking around there. Anyway, first of all, quiz question. Why is this not worth anything this year? To arable farmers like myself, it's worth more than ever because of fertiliser prices. To livestock farmers, obviously they don't want the price to go up, but no one's buying it. Where's it coming from? Is no one buying it because they're hoping it's going to be there in the winter, or is no one buying it because they can't afford to? What is happening with the straw markets? Why does no one know where it's at? Why is it not worth the value of baling the stuff? Is it because there's no auctions anymore, where it used to go into auctions and people would pay the price what they were prepared to pay for it, and it established a baseline? Is it just the merchants taking the mick out of us? What is it? Anyway, I've baled what we could easily, and we're storing it under hay caps over winter and hoping that the price will go up, because at the moment it's only worth around £50 a tonne XR yard, which is exactly what it costs me to get it to our yard in fertiliser and fuel and baling. So if I sold it now, I've just worked for nothing. So really I could do it being 60, 65 to make something on it for worth the hassle. But yeah, what is going on with the straw price?
So we've filmed a few different kind of vending machines now on The Real Country File. But James Nuttall, what is this behind us, pal?
It's an egg vending machine.
So, first of all, what gave you the idea to have an egg vending machine, James?
Well, we always wanted to sell eggs to public, but we didn't just fancy honesty box. So we were just having a scroll internet one night, and it just popped up.
So tell me how it works and what you've got in here.
Well, we're just different size lockers basically. So we've got the bigger lockers for trays of 30, and we've got the smaller ones that you can get dozens in, or half a dozens. We've even got some duck eggs there. And then we've even got some even smaller lockers. So even got some local honey in there as well now. Even some local pasta from just up the road. And we can fit half dozens in as well. But all you do is you come to touch screen, scroll up and down, choose which ones you want. So if you want a tray of eggs, you just tap on that green button. Either pay cash or on card, and you just press contactless, show your card, and your door will pop open.
So you don't have to have staff then in here, do you?
Well, no, that's the idea of it as well, basically, because I can be doing other things and people can still come. I can open longer hours, so I open 7 till 7 every day, so it's convenient for the customer as well, and obviously I save on labour as well.
So you're out doing other jobs. What kind of stuff do you do during the day then if you're not here selling eggs?
Well, I have another job as well, so I go out working on other farms and obviously looking after chickens and trying to push that forward, keep thinking of next ideas.
So you started off, how old were you when you started keeping chickens?
Oh, chickens, it'd be about 10 years ago now. Just started with 6 and then just went from there. It got a bit of an addiction, it got out of order a bit. Next minute there's that many running round, you lose count, so and just people kept asking for eggs to start with, just your neighbours, so you take them a tray and they tell their neighbours and then it just goes from there.
So you're lucky in a way that your family farm is on quite a busy main road, isn't it?
Well, that is the...
it's not lucky when the cars go through the stone wall.
Well, no, but it's got its pros and cons.
Yeah, you're not having to cart your eggs very far at all.
No.
In fact, just from the field there, we'll go on out and have a look at the chickens in a minute, but they're going from there. In fact, if they're up to the fence, they're going about 3 metres before they're in vending machine.
And that's what customers want as well. They want to know where the food's from, and they want to know that them chickens are laying their eggs, which makes it work even better.
So it's going great guns. I noticed also down here you've got some flavoured milks and some yogurts in there as well. Is that locally produced as well?
Yeah, well that's just produced at Blackpool. We've always sold them at farmers markets, to be fair.
The yogurts and stuff?
Well, mainly milkshakes and butter.
Right.
So when we just started off, we just had eggs in, but customers kept asking for butter and stuff like that, and milkshakes.
Well, you've pointed to another fridge down here. Go on, keep telling us then. So butter and milkshake.
So first of all they wanted butter, because we always used to go to farmers markets and we had eggs, butter and milkshakes, just what we had. Then customers wanted more products. So we've just got local cheese, like local jams, which is made literally down the road, local yogurts, And we've even got recently some pasta sauces which are made just up road. We were always stood next to them at farmers markets.
That's an interesting name, that. No Pomsey.
Yeah, very popular as well. Very good sauces.
I noticed behind you, that's like a fan wall.
Yeah, well, it's a comment board, is that? We just put it up. We didn't know if anybody would comment on it, but it's full. We've actually ran out of paper, so yeah, we can't complain.
So how did COVID affect you in the business, James?
Well, to be fair with COVID, this machine and this kind of setup to help everybody out. Customers could come on, you know, didn't have to meet anybody, it's all self-serve. And again, like I said, just minimising the contact basically. So after COVID, people carried it on for a bit, so they didn't really want to meet people as much, which is understandable. So I think they gained more popularity from that.
So if people are thinking of branching out, they're thinking maybe they haven't got enough time to have a farm shop, they can't really staff it maybe, then this might be a stepping stone for them.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of farmers moving towards them. I know the milk machines are really popular. These are definitely one of the best vending machines that we've come by. Been very reliable as well, to be fair, which is what you want from a vending machine, because you don't want people ringing you up all the time. Yeah, it happens now and then, but yeah.
Any plans for expansion?
Yeah, well, there's always plans. My dad wants to get a milk machine in as well, so they just come and get their own milk.
So you'd have milks on the farm?
Yeah, so he wants to get milk straight out of the machine. So like same idea again with cows.
Well, fingers crossed we shall see you expanding, James. And thanks for showing us your rather impressive, possibly the only one I've ever seen. In fact, it is the only one I've ever seen. Egg vending machine. Good luck, mate. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having us anyway.
Thanks, Stephen. And now let's see what Angela's been up to in Shropshire.
I'm back here in Shropshire, and those of you that were watching previously on last week's episode saw me talking to Oliver at the Bradford Estates. So in part 2 now, we've actually moved on to a new construction project that they've got for a grain store. Right, hi Olly, so just give us a brief overview. What is it that we're looking at here now?
Hi Angela, welcome back to the Bradford Estates. This is our new grain store, which was meant to be ready for harvest year 2022. Unfortunately, due to the way of the world at the moment, waiting for steel, concrete, etc., it's sort of running behind schedule. And as you can see, we've only started putting the steels up this week. This is a new 2,000 tonne grain store to go alongside our previous 4,000 tonnes. It's 2 1,000 tonne bays. It's a drying floor with stirrers, with a fan shed to obviously produce the air down the tunnel to help dry the corn. But like I say, this was all meant to be ready for this harvest, and it's not ready. So it's had a bit of a knock-on effect, because we've had to either find smaller, sort of less useful sheds to put grain in, which will mean that we can't store it long term there, because we won't be allowed to. And it's also meant that I've had to probably forward sell a bit more wheat and winter barley, because I'm just not going to have enough room to fit everything in. So the selling now in August is never going to be really. I'm taking a penalty for selling now in August. There's probably £10 to be gained by just hanging on to it till November, and who knows where the wheat market's going to be. It's so volatile at the moment that we could be maybe back up to £300 a tonne by December. But I think the point is that actually by it being delayed, we are taking a hit for that. But that, unfortunately, that's the way it is. We've been waiting. The steel guys have been waiting for steel to turn up so they can do to make the steels. They've been waiting to send it off to dip it to get it gelved. Roofing panels seem to be non-existent at the moment, and concreting, you're limited to amount of loads you have a day. It's we've done a concrete drive already this season, and we were restricted to 2 to 3 loads of concrete a day, whereas with this particular job, the floor needs to be one pour. It can't be poured in stages. So we've had to take a view that we would delay it so we could get ourselves ahead of the game and get our concrete booked in So when we start concreting, all the lorries will just keep coming till we're done.
So just logistically having to get all your ducks in a row, which is not easy at this present moment in time.
No, it's been tricky, but that's part of the challenge at the moment. We're lucky it's been an exceptionally dry harvest. It's been an early harvest, which probably hasn't helped. That's probably caught us out a little bit, but there's no way this would be ready for even the end of September. But we've been saved by the dry weather. You know, stuff we are harvesting now that's coming at 13 and 14%. It's easy enough to tip it up in a shed that's less efficient, put some pedestals in it, get it cool and get it shipped out.
So we're just having a look at the current one of the bays, which has been in use obviously so far. So hopefully it's going to be another replica of this, is it, Ollie?
Yes, exactly the same. It will be. We've made a few tweaks because this shed was built in 2015. Of course, technology's moved on, so we're adding a bit more technology into the drying itself. So the floors will be exactly the same, the tunnels will be the same. The stirrers are slightly different, so we've gone for a different stirrer that will allow us to stir grass, seed and wood chip in the future. And we've also gone for an internal fan house this time round with mobile phone technology on the burners and the fans as well. So we're able to sort of monitor what's going on in the fan house from the phone without having to keep coming to the grain store itself.
So again, great example of use of technology on this farm. And I've just noticed actually you've got some nets on your roof, so why is that?
The nets are they've been put up for the solar panel project. So we're going to put solar on all of the grain stores, so existing and new. And the nets have had to go up now because, again, we've ordered the solar panels, but we're waiting for them to come. And the problem is that they're going to show up in end of September, early October. And the grain store will be full by then. And what they won't be able to do is put the nets on. So we've had to get them in to put the nets on early. So when the solar panels turn up, we can crack on and get the solar up, and knowing that the nets are on. And we're hoping that they'll be able to pull the nets off when the grain's in there, but we're not too sure.
Right, so the nets are there as a health and safety thing, so to make sure that if anybody falls off the roof, they've got some security there. So Ollie tells me that, fingers crossed, all being well, this shed and the grain store will be completely finished by sort of September, end of October time. So hopefully that's all going to work out well for him. What sort of construction projects have you been involved in this year on your farm? Has it gone well? Have you had problems with getting stock or steel as well? So let us know in the comments. We'd be really interested to hear from you.
Just thought while I'm stood by the straw, I'd quickly show you the oilseed rape. So this has had a massive 2.5 mil of rain in the last 14 days since it was drilled. It is up and it is in rows, which is nice to see. The stuff sown the week before, the rows are nearly meeting in the middle. It's got a really good start because it had a shower of rain after it. We drilled some last Monday, and it's just lay there in dust at the moment. Like I say, we've had 2.5 mil of rain in the last 7 days, which is only really just dampened the dust. Anyway, have you had any rain? Let us know in the comments. Hope you've enjoyed it this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week.